What's up, YouTube? As you can probably tell, I've got a contractor out here working to get my little pad kind of leveled out here. Speaking of this pad, we got the Jeep out of the way. It's got a new battery in it. Barney's out of the way. Got all this room, so I need to clutter it up. So let's go ahead and bring Barney back up here, and we're gonna start messing with the brake stuff on it. I want to fix that bracket. If you guys remember it, it's got like a broken bracket that's on it, and it's not holding that valve together like it's supposed to. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that we need to fix in here. I mean, this is just not gonna work. But we need to remake this bracket, I think. That way we can bolt it onto there where it's supposed to be. And I think we need to make a nice bracket so that it'll actually fit around this and should be able to seal that up. We might pull this apart today, find out why it's leaking. If it's just a seal, if it's something we can make or buy or replace, I don't know. So let's just see what we can do. What do you say, Huck? She's still holding wind? Barney's warmed up a little bit. Building some air pressure. I had it on the off. If you guys will remember last time, when it's on off, it blows all the air out the back. So I'm hoping it's going to hold air long enough to get from here just right in front of the shop right there. And if it will, we'll be good. Otherwise, the brakes may lock up on it. And that's really only if the brakes are, going to lock up. I really don't know. I haven't driven it with the brakes functioning, so we're about to do that. Brakes were still not functioning, so I tried them and it rolled just a little bit and stopped, and so I've got it in gear and now I've got it blocked. We do still have some air in it, so it's holding air, but if I switch it to off, it starts losing air pretty quick. There's air coming out here, which I want to fix and replace this bracket. And well, there was air coming out of here last time, but it's not this time. So maybe that's good. Maybe whatever was going on with that is freed up, but this obviously needs fixed. So we're gonna pull this apart and we're gonna see just what's going on here. Well, Barney's not showing much pressure, but we're gonna go ahead and hit the old squeaky. It let a little bit more out. That way we don't have anything blow apart. I think that's every man's worry whenever, I think that's every man's worry whenever you go to work on something, that things are just going to fly out and parts are going to go everywhere, and you don't want to take it apart. You're like, ugh, like it's going to be a transmission or some fancy clock or a watch or something, but it's not going to be that bad. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and tear into this. We're going to pull these two bolts out for now and make a new bracket for this. I want to pull this apart because it's leaking right here. And I'm hoping it's just a gasket and something I can fix, which honestly, this thing's all broken. It's kind of junk. If I knew where I could just buy one, if it was, you know, affordable, probably just do that. But anyways, what we're gonna do for now is make us a new bracket, and we'll probably pull this apart and see if it's something that we can seal back up. Oh, this bolt is bent. I can already tell this is going to be fun. I don't know why, but somebody was really hard on this stuff. Not to mention, I think that's causing this to bind right there. We may just have to get a socket. I don't know why I didn't just get a socket, but it's coming loose. I don't know what that just did. This is gonna round stuff off. Let's get what we really need. All right, let's try this. This mobile, oh no. Oh no. This is better than I ever would have expected. Let's hope the other one goes just as good. Oh, it's nice and loose. I hate to think we're going to have to drill that other one out, because it's not going to be fun. So right here's our leak. This is the fancy bracket that they made for it. Pretty junky, and it's lumpy and tweaked. So I'm sure it never, you can see where it never made a good, never applied good pressure, I don't think, in order to be able to hold this down correctly. Oh, that's terrible. I hate that. Yuck. I think for starters, I'm going to pull this airline off. If I can. Maybe tightening it wouldn't be the way to go. It's windy out here today, guys. I hope you guys don't notice it. I got the old dead cat on, so. You know, the reason they call it a dead cat is because, you know, back in the 1700s, you know, their improvised mics that they would use back then, they would just lay a dead cat over it because they didn't have anything else that they could use. But nowadays we get to use these fancy things. That way, you know, we don't have to go find a dead cat. And to be honest with you, I mean, I love cats. I just can't eat a whole one anymore. I think before I open this up, I want to try and drill into that and see if I can get it out. It would possibly be easier with that open, but I don't want to get metal shavings and stuff in it, so we're going to give it a whirl right now.
Like this one?
Yeah, like that one. Why do you have that? When you're wondering where your tools are at, this guy. You're doing a good job. I want to hit dead center on this if I can. Dead cat center. Right there looks pretty good. Oh yeah, that went in there good. I'm going to start with one of these 1/8 inch drill bits right here. That should get me started. Okay, let's see if I can hold this and drill a hole in it. Probably do a better job if I would chuck it up in the drill press. Yeah, that's worked its way off to the side where I don't want it. we go. It does protrude through the bottom, but because of this flange, you'd never be able to run it all the way out. Hopefully I can get an easy out in it and back it out. I'm gonna guess that with the bend that's already in this, that it's, it was already pre-damaged. All right, I've let a little bit of penetrant soak into it while my lovely assistant over here went and got me my torch. I'm thinking about just going for broke on the first one, you know what I mean? Like, I've let it soak a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of heat to the outside of it because it being this cast or aluminum or whatever it is, it should expand pretty quickly with just a little bit of heat. So I'm thinking that's gonna help, and then we're gonna drive this easy out into it and try and back it out. Hopefully this is gonna work. Okay. I do wish I had a little T-handle for these, but I don't have one, so I'm gonna tap this in. Go through puberty real quick. Should be fairly snug. Put a bit of heat on it, which might light on fire, I don't know. MAP gas is pretty hot. Wouldn't take just a whole lot. And we'll see what we can do. Yeah, the most perfect tool for grabbing this and not messing up, right? Feels like it's turning. It's not. So, it's not bending that though. Maybe I'm just not getting a good enough bite. No sir, I don't like it. Try a bit more heat. I might just need to drill a larger hole into it until I get closer to the threads, and then, that might ease the pressure off of it and make it easier to come out. Let's try this one more time. A little more heat this time. See if I can burn myself. I mean, I know I can, but it just does not want to break free. I don't know how I feel about it. Let's drill a bigger hole in it. Yeah, we're twisting it. All right, guys, what I thought was going to be, a fun, easy day, come out, shoot a video, maybe fix this up, has turned out to be a pain. I've drilled this out pretty wide. I'd be afraid to go any wider because it's getting pretty close to threads. It does not want to back out of there. I don't know what I can do. I might be able to mess with it after getting this off of there. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Should be pretty simple, just 2 bolts, right? And look at it, but I've got some numbers off of it. I'm going to be looking to see if I can find another one, because this one, I believe, is probably toast. There is a small crack right here. Yeah, it's probably what I should have done anyways, but I just wanted to know what was in it and if it was something I could fix cheap, but it's not looking good. Are you guys ready to see what's in here like I am? Oh, It's a little firm. I did get some numbers off of it. It didn't answer much for me. Oh, it is an O-ring. Gross. There's not much to that. And I might be able to get onto this nut from here. But the O-ring doesn't look super bad, and I could probably easily replace that. So, I don't know. I'm feeling less hopeless. I was thinking we got to order another one, and this is going to be another video. But I don't know. Let's see what we can do with this. I was getting pretty discouraged, and there's been a pretty good gap in trying to figure out. Been some phone calls. I've been trying to look up part numbers and see if I can buy another one of these. And I don't know if this company doesn't make them anymore, or if I'm not looking correctly, or what. I've put in the serial number or whatever off of it, the brand, etc. And all I keep coming up with is like Bendix, which might be the brand. I don't know. It says BW on the side of it. But what I've done here, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it or how well it's going to focus, but I've got a little piece. What I've done is, since I'd already drilled it out pretty good, I've taken the Dremel with this little bit right here. I've had this bit for like 15 years. Anyway, it's been a good one. I've used it a lot. But anyways, I've got it down to where I could barely see the threads around the inside, and I'm now peeling it out. And it's not just wanting to come right out. I think that this being aluminum and that steel, you know, kind of like spark plugs can do and stuff, I think it has galled itself to it, but I'm getting it out. So we might be able to save this thing, I don't know. What I'm doing here is chiseling out each one of these little threads that are left. And when I get enough, I grab it with this, and I'm able to roll a bunch of it out, and I'm almost to the bottom, guys. Might be able to save it. I got it all out. Try one of these new bolts I got for it. Look at that. Like a glove or a bolt or something. It gets a little snug in there, which it's aluminum, and I had to do a little bit of tap-tappy in there. But let's see. Well, I had it right. Oh yeah, I can do that with my finger. That is no big deal. One of Barney's original parts hath doth been saved. Cool. I'm glad, because I was really struggling to find the parts to replace it. I mean, I realize that these are probably generic in a sense, and that there's probably, you know, 50 of them out there that'll work and still do the exact same thing. But I don't know. I was finding stuff that was sort of similar, and anywhere from $80 to like $340. So, you know, I was scared. So I put the time into it. I was able to get that out of there. So I think it's fine. The top, as we had looked at before, it's just an O-ring that seals around that. So I think we can get an O-ring and we can fix this. Obviously want to clean that out. I taped it up to keep metal shavings from getting inside of it. It seems to seal pretty good right there. But I may start Barney before putting it back together and just let it blow a little bit of air out of it, just to make sure. I've got both halves cleaned out fairly good, other than a little oxidation inside of there, obviously. And this side kind of matches. Well, I'm trying to point with the camera. But anyways, this O-ring, I don't know if it would seal, you know, if I had a good bolt in it and had it bolted down like it was supposed to be. But I think what we're going to do instead is maybe try this one. I have this O-ring here. It's from a Bostitch nailer rebuild kit. I've rebuilt several of them, so I've got a few. The only thing I can think is this might be a little too chubby. But I don't know. I don't know if I should go ahead and try this one and just see if it'll seal back up, or if I should pick it off, because I'm probably going to ruin it. It's, you know, 40 years old, I guess, 40 something years old, so it's probably not going to hold up if I go to peeling it off. But if it doesn't work, we'll get another O-ring, and that can be another day's fix. Decided to go ahead and go with the seal that was on it, even though it leaked, just because I think that bracket was letting it, not put pressure on the O-ring. So what we're gonna do is, before we build a bracket, which I don't think I'm gonna have time today because daylight's fading, I'm just gonna snug it down with this and see what it does. And if we can't, see, that is so much better. Already so much better. I can tell there. It looked like there was a gasket in it before, so there was a gap. So we are going to start Barney with this on and see if he'll hold air now. If it won't, then it won't, and it just is what it is, and we'll have to get another O-ring for it or try that one. But that other one, it's so chubby. I don't know what else to call it. It's chubby. It's thick. And I'm afraid that it's going to be too much and end up cutting it or not sealing or allowing it to blow out. So we may just have to go find one somewhere. You like how I got the vise on here? Check this out. Oh, I've got it just clamped on with a clamp. It's just hanging here. I just needed something to hold it in place so I could gently grind that out without messing it up. And I found some grease somewhere, and I have no idea. Oh, right in here. Give it back. I am hopeful that it's going to work. Thank you, Lord. I was able to get in there and, get that bolt out of it. I thought it was going to be trash, but it seems like things are working out. In order to test it, we're also going to have to put it back together, I guess. So go ahead and slide this on. Ranch it down. Guys, we'll be ready to go. We'll be ready to fire old Barney right up. That's not a ½ inch. Oh, there's a red wasp. Where'd you come from? Oh! Well, I missed him with the wrench, so he's gonna be mad at me. I'll be screaming here in a minute when he hits me in the neck or the face. They are not cool. Maybe he'll think that was an accident. I didn't mean to do that, I'm sorry. Snug as a bug in a rug. I just heard something, I got scared. I'm gonna go ahead and get these tools cleaned up and then we'll fire it up. Oh. Had to put her in the old neutral. Roll it against them blocks. Key on. Of course, we just got Barney fired up, but nothing's leaking back here as of yet. But I also have the brakes in the park brake in the on position, so it shouldn't leak in that position anyways. But we will see here in just a second. This right here is what was leaking the other day as well. It was leaking from the bottom, but there's like a hole as if it's supposed to do that. So I don't know what that's even supposed to do. I should know all of this stuff. I'm pretty sure it was part of my CDL test, but they had pictures and now I have all this stuff I've never seen before. But it's not leaking. I think we can probably go ahead and flip the switch and see what it does. Switch has been flipped. We have no air coming out of this. That's awesome. No air coming out of there either. The brake chamber has moved. So let's see what happens. You guys watch. Pay attention to that brake chamber right there. I'm gonna flip the switch. Off to or on to brakes on. Seems as though the brakes are not doing anything at all. just doesn't make sense. Like nothing's moving. I don't know why. Now that it's off, it's starting to bleed out. The brakes are bleeding their way off. There's air coming out through the horn on top still. But let's see how bad it's going down. It's still holding air pretty good. Parking brake is on. Maybe this valve is bad or something with this switch. It was working pretty good the other day though, gotta admit. Now if I throw it back to off, I hear it moving the brakes back here. And it pulled them all in completely. So maybe it's working. Just have to see. But either way, this right here is fixed, I believe. It's not leaking. We will build a bracket and get some slightly oversized bolts or cut some longer ones down so that, you know, we can get a full depth inside of the aluminum down here in the threads. But I do want to build a bracket to go on that so it'll work. We'll get something a little bit better too, where the angle will come out like this and it'll have enough room for the bolt head and, you know, not get tangled or twisted. Good news is Barney's certainly holding air much better. I'm going to throw these brakes back to on and see how quickly they change. This is the weird part. It's moving, if you can see it. It's just really slow to go into park. I'm not really sure what that's all about. If any of you guys know why this is moving so slowly, leave me a comment down in the bottom. That's another day with Barney. I really appreciate y'all's comments, so you know, if you feel like saying something, say something. Leave me one. Anyways, thanks for watching and God bless. Check you later.